Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
All right, welcome back
Back in the house, baby.
Back in the house. Let's go.
We missed that. We missed that on one pod. That was not
We
the
did.
idea. That was not the right idea. We missed our catchphrase.
But no guest today, right? It's just us
Yeah.
two back to
the grind. It's a Tuesday. Actually, it's a Wednesday. No, Tuesday morning. 12 o'clock in the morning. Tuesday.
Yep.
Midnight pod.
Yeah, midnight pod. But we felt the need to get back on, right? Because we haven't been on for what, a week and a half.
Well, we never got a tournament preview off for Auckland, and I mean we both posted our futures and such. But we never got a tournament. We never got like a tournament preview off.
Yeah, and we actually have lines this time. Like we don't have to go hypothetical like we did.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we have some.
Great.
Well, we have match lines. We don't have tournament lines because the
match is in progress.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess we can get into it. Like we're not going to go crazy with the recap. With the recap, we're going to have that when we do our Australian Open preview because that's kind of going to be baked in, like when we talk about it. So we're not going to do that tonight. Plus, it's just too late for us. But for today, I guess let's start with like our futures because I know we both posted our futures.
Well, yeah, I guess we should do tournament by tournament, and we can just we can talk draw. Maybe we can talk draws and then get into betting.
Okay, we can talk draw.
Yeah.
So
where do you want to start? We can start in New Zealand or Australia.
Let's start in Adelaide.
All right, Kokonakis' hometown.
He lost already.
I know. I put a futures out on him. I was like, I didn't think it was going to come through, but I was like 22-1, man. I don't know. It doesn't take a ton to convince me at 22-1 to go for a futures. Like
I hear where you're going, but I think that narrative is overrated. Like that Adelaide Kokonakis, right? Like, did he just get a stroke of luck and do well? Because like I don't know.
You know what though, man? He's so crowd dependent. Like he's one of those like high energy, low energy kind of guys. Like
well, right? When he's playing bad, it just goes south.
Well, that's the problem, right? That's why he's 22-1. But like, I mean, look, like we always joke about this, right? Who's better, Adelaide Kokonakis or Estrella Burgos and Quito? But like the point is there can be a reality to this, right? Like, I think there's certain guys who, in the right conditions with the right crowd, their game is significantly enhanced. I don't think it's all guys. I think it tends to be. I think the idea of a defending champ, you're probably right as an overall tendency, and you were probably right in this case. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a little specific. Like there are definitely guys who conditions favor them, and I think there was an argument here for Kokonakis, like the fact that it's not like it's some random tournament he won that he played well in twice, right? It's a tournament that fits like him perfectly, mostly because of the crowd and being at home. Yeah, and being right before a slam, so there's the fields aren't as strong. Like I saw the argument.
Yeah, I just like think when you kind of lose to Rinky and go away the way you did, because like last week was kind of similar in terms of the conditions. I know it's not his hometown, but it's also in Australia on a quick court where it should be favorable to him. Right. And he kind
of. I mean, look, it was one of those things where like, so I see both sides. You know what I mean? Like for me, it was a pure price play. Like I originally was not on it. And then last second I said, you know what? In the 20s to 1, like that's probably worth a shot that he happens to wake up and play well this week. Because like he's also a guy who has like a good top end. Like his top end game.
I agree with that.
So like if you're, and like if you're like he's like if we kind of talked about this a little bit before, like is outright really the right thing to bet on a guy? And like he's a guy who I don't mind putting an outright on Kokonakis. Like there's other guys who it's like, do you really want to put outrights on him? Because like, can they actually win in a final, right? But like Kokonakis is a guy who like,
well, he has a big game, right? Like a big serve, big forehand.
Yeah.
He has weapons, so I get that argument. I don't know, when you're like lacking form.
The form was so bad. I hear you, man.
When you're lacking form, you have to make up for it with mental strength, and he doesn't have that.
I feel like he has more mental strength when the crowd's behind him,
Yeah, but you actually have to have mental strength to kind of compartmentalize that pressure and put it to good use. You know, like
I hear both ends. I don't. I hear both
all
ends.
right.
It's really
Well,
tough to quantify once you get out to like 20 to 25 to 1 with a guy like Kokonakis. Because
yeah,
like, I feel like with certain guys, like especially when you're talking about like outrights, it's like you can't just like you can't just like mathematically multiply the chance they're going to win every match together. Like you can like some guys you can do that with. Like in O'Connell, you can probably look at it and go, okay, what's his chances of winning each match?
yeah,
Multiply those together, and that's the odds you should get on the futures.
right.
I feel like with Kokonakis, it's like because it's such like a top end, bottom end kind of thing. Like I don't know.
So my
And,
futures here was Shevchenko at 28 to 1. Like I thought that that was way better value than
and the
Kokonakis.
hilarious part is that I don't. I just really think this is a tough part of the draw. Like
It is.
Echeverry was not an easy round one opponent. I actually
No, it
bet
wasn't.
Echeverry in round one.
And I thought that that was his hardest match. Like
And
now,
Echeverry could be his
like,
hardest match until he makes the final. I don't disagree. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was my point, and I hedged for that that Etch Shevchenko match with Etch 2-1 and 3 sets. So I didn't like hedge with just the Etch money line because I did think Shevchenko was a deserved favorite, and he did come out and win that match. But like I wanted to have some plus money with Etch in that match in case he lost. Because like I thought that 3 sets was the best line there, like the over the 3 sets, because that's
yeah,
a
I mean, I thought it was gonna be a tough match. You know, what I mean, I had the Etch money line at the 130. I
yeah, that
don't
was a good
feel
play.
terrible about it. Like, I
No,
think it was, I think he'd probably get. I mean, to me, it felt like a pretty 50-50 match.
yeah,
I think the stats in the match were insanely even. It was like 114 points to 113,
extremely.
41% points
Yeah,
won on return for Etch to 40 for Shevchenko. Like, it was basically as close to a coin flip match as you get.
it was. So you get plus money, plus 130 on Etch. Like I don't think that was a bad play. But the way Etch has played, like he's played so many 3 setters recently that like if you're gonna
I
bet,
don't think the Etch. I think either play was fine. I think I even called it out. Like, I think I even
yeah,
called it out when I did my video or my write ups. Like,
yeah,
I thought both plays were pretty equally valid. Like,
yeah, yeah. But I like Etch like is a 2-1 kind of guy. Like if just the 3 sets,
yeah, it's interesting. It's an
so
interesting way to
off.
look at it.
Yeah,
I didn't love the value there. I think it was only like three something. When I got it, it was like only
50,
3.2 to 1 or something. It wasn't like I was hoping to get like I looked at the same line, but I was hoping to get like 4 to 1 because usually with a dog
yeah.
you'll get a pretty good price there. And it was like only like 3 to 1. Like it was not a great price.
Yeah, maybe because like they were kind of expected to go 3 sets because the 3 set line, which I thought was good, was only plus 115, I believe.
Which
And
is
like that's
really low.
which
Which
is
is
really
really
low,
low for
which is
a
why
three
I
set
swayed
line.
towards the over 22.5. And like I would have got there in 2 sets.
Yeah,
So
I mean it's yeah, 115 is a really
yeah,
like usually, even if it's like two relatively equal guys, will get 125, 130.
right.
115 is like, and I think I looked at that line too, and I was like, I think I even saw better. I saw like 120, and I was like, even at 120, it seemed low. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was, but you're right, it did have 3 sets written all over it.
It did. It did.
But
Yeah.
I don't think O'Connell's a walk in the park for Shevchenko either. I think Shevchenko will get there,
Um,
but I don't think it's a walk in the park.
Not a walk in the park because O'Connell has that like, aggressive game with the, serve and volley sometimes. Like he varies his tactics a lot. So
Yeah.
I think
And
that that's
Sonego, like if Sonego beats Korda, like that could be a pain in the neck match for sure. Like,
yeah, it's a tough part of the draw, but I do think he's like the best player, and I'm getting 28 to 1. Plus, I think everyone in that fourth quarter is beatable.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I agree with
Lechka's
that.
beatable. We actually have Walton tonight over Lechka. Like Lajovic, I mean, like
I think this is a really fun tournament to put futures on because I
yeah,
think like it's a very beatable it's a very like I don't like any of the seeds. It's a little bit like I don't hate Yari sticking on the bottom half because you're already there. I don't hate Yari here just because he's got the serve.
yeah, but
Um
I actually think the court is too fast for him because this Adelaide court. I don't know if you saw Pro Nishikori's
no,
email,
it's fast.
but
I know.
it's
It's
quick.
quick.
It's one of the
Yeah.
quickest courts.
And I agree. I mean, I've said it many times. I think Yari's at his best in clay altitude, where the serve plays up, but the ball afterwards doesn't, because he is a little
Exactly.
slow. He's tall and
He
he's a
is
little
slow.
slow.
And I might go with Arnaldi. I mean, we'll discuss the individual matches, but like I don't know. I think Arnaldi continues to be slightly undervalued by the books. Like, I think he's better than what
Well,
he.
I don't know, man. If you look at like the luck stats on Arnaldi, the three set like the three like the his points won his hold break is not as strong as his match record over the past 3-4 months when he's had this resurgence on, or not resurgence, this I guess surgence, this surge. I'm not sure what the right word is.
Yeah.
This surge on hard courts. But he also does have a good game. Like when you watch, I get it.
He
Because like from an eye
does.
test perspective, I do like the eye test.
Yeah.
But he does like statistically the stats don't look as good. I think he's won like during this like last 3 or 4 months, he's winning like well under 50% of points. It's kind of odd that he's done so well. He's winning like 47-48% of points, I think.
Yeah, I think he's. I don't know. He doesn't give in really. Like he's a good battler, and I think that's a testament to him. Like more when as you say that, I'm kind of thinking that Arnaldi Yari like that has an over kind of feel to it. Like it has.
Well, didn't they play? They played a really long match when they played last time, right?
Don't remember.
Think they played. I think they played at least one tiebreak, at least one long side. I want to say it was a 3-setter. They did play once last year.
They did, yeah, in Beijing. Yep, 6
Yeah,
7 7
6-7-7,
6 6
6-6-3.
3. Yeah, yeah, you're right. But I don't know. I kind of see that kind of similar score line, like that just has like overwritten all over it. I'm curious to see what that line is, but
I agree, but I really hope we get an over under of 23 or lower. I feel like I fear that's going to come in like an over under of 24, and then I hate those over unders of 24, man. Especially if you have like an Arnaldi guy who's really not that big of a server, and like one break
yeah,
and
but
two
it does
sets
it
and you
really matter
lose.
with Yari? Like Yari's return game is so piss poor that it's like,
Um,
I mean, he can take a few cuts, but like on this court when it's super quick and he has no time on the ball,
I
like it's
get it.
gonna be
Everybody's
hard for
serve
him to
plays
make
up.
cuts. So, and then
24
the,
is
the
still such a
problem
high.
with
Like
Arnaldi is like his serve is not that big, but his like ground game is pretty good. So
also, doesn't Arnaldi have a double fault problem?
slightly, I mean, I remember in that Beijing match, remember he threw in like 3 doubles, like
I think
first.
he's doing 3 doubles in one game to break himself. Like
Yeah, I think he's just like streaky. Like his floor is pretty low, so
it
right,
is for sure,
like.
especially on the serve.
Like his peak is pretty high and he's a good battler, but like his floor is low. So I get where you're coming, but I mean we'll discuss that match a little bit more in depth later.
Yeah, I guess as we talk about the draw,
Like Shevchenko, don't you think like he should be like where do you stack him like to make the final? Like I think he's kind of arguably the favorite to make the final here.
oh, but I mean, so I was close about it from Shevchenko. The problem is so like
Like what would the price be on him now to win the title? It's probably what, like 20 to 1?
something like that. And I think it's probably a fair price, is something between 15 and 20. He's still got to win 4 matches. None of the 4 are like, he's not a huge favorite in any of the 4. He's a favorite against O'Connor. I don't think he's a huge favorite. I think it's
Probably
actually,
pick him against Corda. Like I would back him as a dog against Corda.
yeah, I would too. Um, if he's a dog of anything more than like plus 130.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a
That's
slight dog.
if the books are smart, which they are, that's probably the price you're gonna get, but
Yeah.
right. And then like in that bottom half, like against Lechka, Walton, Lajovic, Arnaldi, or Yari, I think he's the favorite against all of them.
It all came down to how much you believed in that first match against Etch, I think.
Yeah.
Like I said, the fact that I took the Etch money line at plus 130, right, indicates that I think Shevchenko was like barely above. Like I had it at like 53-47, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know
it's
what I mean?
why
So
it's why I hedged because I thought that was
right. But my for me it was hard to take it. I don't even know if I saw 20 to 1. I think I saw them in the lower 20s, but it's hard to take like even a mid 20s to 1, mid to upper 20s to 1 when you don't see a match where the guy is like a
right.
big favorite. You know what I mean? Because you're like, it's a lot
Yeah.
of you're hoping to last through a lot of coin flips.
For me,
It's also a hot week, and you don't really want to have like a whole lot of long matches.
that is a good point. That match happened at night, I think, so it wasn't as bad.
Well, I'm not. It was also a cooler. Like the front half of this tournament, the weather's okay. The back half of the work gets really nasty. I think starting Thursday, it gets into like the high 80s and 90s.
That is slight concern with Shevchenko. Like I would be actually less concerned if Etch was there, because
I think it's more just like still think Shevchenko's going to play a lot of long matches, and like that's not like long matches, decently long points, and that's not really what I want.
Fair. 28-1 though for I think like one of the better players in this draw who's shown a lot of improvement. I
don't think it's terrible. Like I think it's okay. I think Sean Calvert was on it also. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's very I think it's pretty close. I don't remember if I saw 28-1. 28 I might have hit. I think I saw something in the lower 20s. You might have gotten it like at a better time than me. But
my other play here was Thompson at 22-1 in the top half of the draw.
That's my play. That's the one that I had circled and starred because I think this top half is incredibly poor.
It is poor.
So if you go through the seeds here, I want nothing to do with Tommy Paul at the end of a hot week.
Agreed.
Nothing on Friday, Saturdays from now. Nothing to do with
semifinal points to defend at the Australian Open. Like he's gonna play 2 matches here and be like, I'm getting the hell out of Adelaide.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with Draper. Not in the heat, not in the hot matches, not at the back end of this tournament.
He looked really good against Baez, but like
that's also Baez. Like I think Baez is a really good opponent for him.
Yeah, that's true. Good matchup. Very true.
Yeah. On a quick court, on a slow court, it's going to be trouble for him. But on a quick court, I think it's a good matchup for him. Want no part of Kecmanovic.
No, not
Bolt is irrelevant. Like he's not going to win this tournament. He's fun, but he's not going to win this tournament.
No part of Musetti. Musetti's an automatic.
Musetti can't. I mean, I think he's better than people give him credit for on quick hard courts.
No, he's not. He's terrible.
Well, no. But hear me out. When I say better than people give him credit for, like, I don't know. I think he's like around as good as Baez.
Okay.
Maybe a little better than Baez.
Is that the standard Musetti is measuring himself against?
Okay, if you're Musetti, no. But my point is like, if you're going to tell me he's a challenger level player on quick hard courts, I'm going to say no, he's an ATP level player.
Okay. If you put Musetti against Baez right now on a quick hard court, I'm going Baez just because of compete level and like stamina and yeah. I mean, if you put him at Pick'em and they would play, I'd probably lean Baez, and you'd probably get Baez at plus money there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd probably be on Musetti there, but it'd be like Musetti like minus 130 is probably like I think like minus 130 plus 110, so we're not far off. Like I don't think Musetti would be a huge favorite, but like my point is I feel like some people put Musetti as like a challenge level player on quick hardcore. I don't think he's that bad. Like I think he's like between like
I feel like the markets give him respect though, just because like he is a high seed. He has this.
I don't know. Well, he wasn't. I mean, I think he was like 20-1 to win this tournament, which I don't think is like a ton of respect.
Yeah, but it's more in individual matches. Like last week, when he played Kotov, right? Like,
what is he against Thompson? Thompson's the favorite tonight. Is that today or is that tomorrow? No, that's got to be tomorrow. And I didn't see a line.
He just played Diaz Acosta, so I don't even know if that line is up.
It's not up yet, but I mean, Thompson should be the favorite there. I would hope. Anything that like, if I can get Thompson anything under like minus 150 money line, I'd probably hit it.
I'm taking it 100%. I'm probably gonna lay games because Musetti doesn't. He doesn't
hold serve particularly well. So I agree.
I think this is a candidate.
But I love Thompson. So given that Evans could be scary actually in this draw. If Evans really wants to win this tournament, he could be scary. Bublik has no chance. Bublik's quote 3 years ago was, "You don't try to win these conditions, you try to survive."
That was his conditions. Why is he even there? Just to collect his round 1 prize money and get the hell out?
I think a couple warm-up matches, right? That doesn't get hot until like Thursday, Friday. So like play two warm-up matches, collect. He probably gets an appearance fee.
All right. I mean, I don't want any part of that.
I mean, you may right if he's going down. I'm sure he wants to do well in the slams, right? Because there's an incentive to do well in slams. It's a quick hard court, so he could do well in Australia. There's no reason he can't outside of the heat if he gets bad weather.
Right.
But otherwise, like, I mean, he's gonna have to go down there anyways. He's gonna have to make the trip anyways. You may as well go down a week early and like get some extra practice
Might
in and
as
get some
well. I
matches.
mean, you're a professional tennis player. This is your job. I mean, might as well. Yeah. I mean, like, I wish I could say that about my job. Like, you might as well go to the pharmacy and like, get some work done. I mean, like, it's a joke. It's ridiculous. But I mean, Rinky and Evans, I have the over in that match, but like, it's
I
not.
want no part of that match, man. Because the problem is like, I think it's a terrible matchup for Rinky. Because like Evans is just a better version, I think, of Rinky.
So then you might as well hit Evans on the money line. Because like I
But
think
Evans may not show up. Like I have no idea what Dan Evans is showing up
I don't
here.
really have that opinion on Dan Evans. Like, I get that he likes to party and stuff, but I never feel like he plays a match and just doesn't show up. Like,
all of last year, he showed up for one tournament.
yeah, I felt like that was more like bad form and just bad playing. I don't think it was like lack of like not wanting to be there,
Oh, he said it. He said at times he didn't want to be
it?
there last year. I think it was more because of confidence than laziness, but like,
Yeah, I think the fact that he was losing and losing and losing like all the time, like when he was a top 20 player the year before, like I think that discouraged him. I don't think it's necessarily that he didn't like go out and just not try,
yeah, but if you're in the club partying too many nights before the event, that's not good for your chances of doing well in the event, right? Like,
good point.
I just, I gotta Evans. He's just such a wild card to me, but he's actually like, he actually like could win this tournament. He's got the right style for it, I think. He plays a few too many longer rallies. Like I really like the way Thompson plays. Like in the heat, I think the way Thompson plays is a real advantage, actually.
Yeah, I mean the thing what I'm nervous about Thompson, I mean we got 22-1, so I can't really complain, but like, remember he played that 250 in like Chengdu or somewhere, and he just like retired after the first set.
Yeah, I know.
Like he is
but you
prone.
wouldn't think he would do that in Australia.
Good point. Good point. I agree with that.
And like this would be the tournament for him, right? Like, real like if he's like I guess he might maybe he would say that like I don't even know what because like the problem is the grass tournaments are actually all pretty tough because there's not many of them, so they get really good attendance.
Yep.
This field, given that it's the week before a slam, is pretty weak.
They like are. I mean, this is pretty par for the course, like a week before a slam.
No, it is. But I guess I don't mean that so much. I mean that like if you look at again, like if you look at the top guys by name, they're bad fits for this particular tournament. So like Paul and Quarter are bad fits because of the heat. Musetti is a bad fit because of the surface. Yari is like
in the heat.
In the heat. Yari is maybe an okay fit because the serve plays up, but that's really it. And I hear you, like I'm not saying he's a great fit, I'm saying maybe he's okay. It's probably faster than he'd like. I agree. Yeah. I mean, you look at the other seeds like Bublik, no chance. Echeverry's already out. I think he was. I mean, he's not. I mean, he still isn't a great hardcourt player. He's getting better, but not great.
Yep.
Like Baez, no chance, right?
Like Kecmanovic, you can't trust in the heat either.
Yeah, like if you look at it, it's just like a really like it's a bunch of guys who like don't really make sense in this event.
Yeah, and I really like Thompson, and I think like the other guys are going to be like, why am I like suffering in this heat when I have to play Grand Slam the next week? Like it just doesn't.
Well, that's why like that's why like the winner of Rinky and Evans, like actually kind of has a shot if they want to vulture this 250.
I mean, Rinky is probably a good play. Like if he gets past Evans, I might play him like second round, because
he's not. I mean, I agree. Like yeah, I agree. Like I wanted to hit Rinky, but like I think he was like 15-1, which is like way too small of a price for me to start a tournament to hit Rinky, especially given he had like a reasonably difficult first round opponent.
Like how was he 15-1 and Thompson was 22-1?
I don't know. I really don't understand that.
Like
I don't understand the Rinky love. I don't understand why Rinky came out as a big favorite against Evans. Like I didn't bet it just because I have zero faith in
him. I love having both here because I could very, very easily see a Thompson versus Shevchenko final here.
I could too. I could
Like,
too.
and
I
I'm
mean,
just like, sitting pretty there. But
yeah, I could too.
I could see that now that Shevchenko got past Etch, like I mean, the bottom half is certainly tougher. There's no doubt about it, but like there's no guy that's not beatable there.
I agree.
So all right, let's go through the individual matches here. So
Yeah.
let's see Adelaide.
Well, Auckland is not Adelaide.
Yeah, I know. All right. Oh, so we got Hoffman Sonigo. Do you have any bet in that match?
No, like, I don't know, man. I think this is Sonigo's first match of the season. He was like a 2-game favorite. I think that's about right.
No, Sonigo played United Cup.
Oh, that's right. He did. He did. You're right.
Yeah.
He's got a 2-game favorite. I think to start this match. I think that was about right. 2 to 2.5, I think was about right for Sonigo. Like, he's just so up and down. It's hard to make him like a 4-game favorite against anybody. But Hoffman is like, I just don't like Hoffman on fast hard course, man. He's just like, he's
Yeah.
so slow.
He is. He is. I mean that I have the no tiebreak in this match at even money.
I think that's a great pick too. I didn't see that line. I don't think Bovada had it. Where'd you get that line?
It was Bet US.
That
Like,
US had that? Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was a great bet. I 100% would have. I should have had you throw some money down on that for me because I
Okay.
thought that was a great bet.
Yeah, I
One,
just
one of the better bets of the day, to be honest. Like,
it's even money. It's not juiced either. And I just think like the market thinks that these guys are they're big servers or you're aggressive players. Like,
well, I think it's more Hoffman, right? It's like Hoffman, the only thing he can do is serve.
yeah, on quick hard courts, yes. And then Sonigo is so erratic, right? So it's like
That's
balls
why I
get
like
broken.
the play a lot, man. Is because Sonigo is so erratic that like
Yeah.
I feel like he's either gonna play well and get a break, or he's gonna give a break away.
Right.
Like,
Well, meanwhile, it's 2-all, so it might go south
I
quick.
mean, you got a long way to go still there, right? Like, those are
True.
courtesy holds.
True. Lechka and Walton. I think we're both on the Walton money line here, right? At plus 225.
Yeah, I'm a little. I mean, I've started to become a fade on Lechka. I'm like,
Yep.
I like Walton here at 225. Like, I think Lechka is gonna win, but I like Walton at 225.
I do. I think it's a great price play. Not enough to make it a GBM play, just because it's like,
Well, I don't think there's a ton of value here. Like, I wouldn't do it anything really less than like 2-1 or like,
yeah.
like, because like Lechka's still the better player by a lot. Like, he's a much better tennis
But Lechka's another guy, so like he's very hit or miss. Like he could be amazing, but he could also be just absolutely horrible.
It also feels like he's struggling a little bit with confidence lately and struggling
Yeah.
to close out matches.
He's struggling to close out matches, and if things go south, things go really south. Like there's a list of guys that happens with, and he's one of them, and he might actually top that list.
Oh, he doesn't top the list.
He doesn't top the list, but he's pretty high up there. I don't like what I saw the last 6 months. Like,
I agree with that. And I agree with the overall take, but I wouldn't say he's at the top of the list.
Top of the list. Okay, all right, but I don't know. There's been plenty of times where I've seen him lose a close first set and just go away.
Yeah.
So, it happened against Fritz in Cincinnati, and I know it's happened a couple other times. So, I don't know. I like
I mean, he ultimately lost. He lost to Schwartzman, and that was a better playing Schwartzman. We lost to Schwartzman a few months back.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good.
Yeah, on a quick hard court in Shanghai.
Yeah. Yes, I mean Walton. What he qualified here?
Yeah,
Plus
yeah. I mean, he's at home.
He's gonna have the motivation, right? Like Lechka also had quarterfinal points at the Australian Open, so that might be in the back of his mind. Like, I want to get my ass over there, get acclimated with those conditions. Like that could be weighing on him. So I think this is a good play in a lot of reasons. So, and it's plus 225. It's going up. So
yeah, I mean 220 to 225.
There's no way I want to back Lechka in any way here.
Yeah.
Right. So next match, James McCabe and Bublik. This is a total stay away. I'm staying away from most Bublik matches this year. Like, and I'm a high volume guy, but like
I've gone for McCabe here on the money line at 220. It's another one where like it's a pure price play. Like, Bublik may want to be here to win a match, but like I could easily see like if this starts to turn south, like you want to talk about guys that if it turns south, they can go south. Like that's a guy. Like don't give me Lehechka, give me Bublik. Like,
fair. You got me there.
um,
Okay.
and
All right.
especially like I don't know, like the I don't know how good the payout is here. Like I'm trying to look and see, trying to look up and see if the tournament PDFs list the payouts, and I think that's relevant for Bublik because he's clearly like a financially motivated guy. The winner, if you win this tournament, you only get 100K.
So Bublik is like, screw that.
I mean, he's got to win this tournament to get that 100K. He's not winning. He talked about how the goal is to survive in these conditions, not even win. So like he's not winning. He's not winning Thursday, Friday when it's hot. Like, like
So he can make my salary in a week. And
okay, if he makes the semis, he gets 35K. Like for Bublik, that's not amazing. Like he can go find that in other places. Like
he spends that in the club for one night.
He probably does.
Right?
He probably does.
Oh man.
He might have a long FIFA session night. He might have be good. I don't know what the FIFA tournament schedule looks like tonight. Like that could be,
True. That's true. Good point. All right, enough on that match. I'm just staying away because
I'm on McCabe money line. Again, it's a price play. I wouldn't take it at much worse than this, but McCabe is a nice game for the Australian courts. He's a decent quick court player.
The under in Bublik matches is always a good look, especially when you see 22.5 or higher. Like, right? Like if he doesn't,
it's a double-edged sword though, because like
it is.
The problem is like he also plays a decent number. Like if he decides he doesn't care, you could easily end up with tie breaks.
And if he does care, like he's a better returner than people give him credit for.
Oh, 100%. 100% agree with that. Like 100%, he's a much better tennis player.
Yeah.
Than people give him credit for. But it's just that like you don't know which Bublik is going to show up.
Like if he cared all the time, I mean, he would be a top 15 player probably because like.
Yeah, I think top 15. I don't think he's that good, but I think definitely top 20.
I mean, he has one of the best, like, just pure racket talent out there.
Maybe even top 10. Like, he might be borderline top 10. Like, just I don't know. Like
in pure, like, what he does with the tennis ball, like, with the hands.
And like guys like the bottom of the top 10 is, like, Rune, Fritz, I mean,
he's better than
that
Fritz.
Level, like.
Racket talent.
What?
He's way better than Fritz in terms of pure racket talent.
Fritz might be a better ball striker, though. But, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's almost a shame that Bublik doesn't like give that full effort because like I actually think you can make the argument that Bublik might be a more of a quote unquote wasted talent than like Kyrgios. Oh,
I way agree. Oh,
yeah.
Especially now that Kyrgios has made a Wimbledon final.
Right.
Like
yeah. I mean, we saw with Bublik, like he cared for a tournament and he won Halle. Like
we saw on the whole grass season. We saw how good Bublik can be. I mean, he almost beat Rublev in that quarter. Like he was playing like a top 5, top 10 player last year on the grass.
He was.
I just in a hot. I mean, and he may win this match. He probably will win this match. But I mean, this is not a tournament for Bublik.
No, absolutely not. I totally agree on that front. Rinky, Dan Evans. We talked about this, and I think it's the right price, honestly, at pure pick'em.
Rinky opened up a favorite. I just had no. I don't understand why Rinky opened up. I think a pretty sizable favorite. I want to say it was like
minus 140,
something like that. Yeah, like he opened up like a sizable favorite, and might have even been higher. Man, I mean, it was like I didn't understand. I mean, Evans is the better player by far. It's not even close. Like, if real Dan Evans shows up here, like, real Dan Evans won Washington last year. That's a 500 event.
Well, I think that the wins last week against Machak and against Kokkinakis have kind of supported the Rinky hype and kind of given him some extra, like...
I get it, but that's a hell of a lot of extra. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of extra to get to a guy who's been a pretty much perennial top 20 player.
Yeah.
I don't know where Evans' ranking is now because he kind of had a bad year last year, but like,
I mean, he's like in the mid 30s or low 40s.
He's at 40. He's at 40. But for a guy who was near the top 20, and I think like on a hard court, like, I mean, there's like during the summer last year, during that stretch of August, he was, I mean, Washington, he took a set off of Alcaraz at the US Open.
Yeah.
Like his, I mean, this is a guy who's got like top 20 skills.
Yeah, and very like well-rounded player, good tactical
I think
player.
did he beat Dimitrov in Washington?
He did, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, good wins. And then I think he beat Griekspoor in the final, right?
yeah.
No, he had an amazing run. I mean, Rinke's ceiling is really like top 60, right? Like
At best. I mean,
at
his
best.
ball is just he doesn't hit a good enough ball.
Yeah.
Like he does some funky stuff. He hits like that flat, funky, like cross-court forehand,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't do enough on a ball-to-ball basis. Like his standard just cross-court, I have to hit a normal cross-court rally ball here, not a winner, but I just have to like hit a good it's crappy for an ATP player.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just hitting the Dan Evans money line. I don't think
that's terrible. Like at pick, like gun to head, I'd probably like pick Evans, but I want no part of this. Like it's just like because we just talked up Evans for 5 minutes, but like there's also a massive downside.
I have the over on the as well. I mean, I don't know.
Again, it's a bet that like based on their tennis games, it's not bad, but like you know,
I don't really feel like Evans is like he's not like a Bublik per se. Where
he's not a clown during the match. It's more just like, is he gonna play well or not? You know, like it's more than just like his like level of play can vary a lot. It's not so much that he's a clown.
Yeah, his floor is very low, but his ceiling is really high, and it's not because it's a power flashy game. It's just like very, very unconventional, and like he could be very smart tactically. So I get it. Like, and if he plays that smart tactical match, like Rinke has no answer here.
Agreed.
So, yeah. All right. Last match here. Kecmanovic against Draper. Kecmanovic is a plus 195 dog. Draper is minus 240. Draper's a 3.5 game favorite. Over under is 22.5. I kind of like, well, first of all, I want to see when this match is played. Because if this match is played during the day and really hot conditions, I really like the under.
Well, it's not. I don't think tomorrow's not hot. Tomorrow is 82 degrees is the high.
Okay, it's not that bad. But for these guys, like 60 degrees is hot. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is the schedule out? No, I don't think so.
I think they released the schedule early in the morning.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like Draper is slightly overvalued here. Like they played in Davis Cup. I know it's different conditions in that Great Britain Serbia tie. And I think Kecmanovic won like 6-6.
Yeah.
Right. And Kecmanovic played well. Let me see. 1-1. Yeah, 6-6, and we're in Davis Cup. Yeah, I don't know. I think 3.5 is a lot. Like, I'd probably go to plus 3.5. Like gun to head. Because I think that's a pretty high spread for these two guys. Like Draper had a really good performance against Baez, but is he really that great? Like,
so Draper has 30 wins since August, which is why people like him.
Right?
What?
He's had a decent run. I agree.
But here's the wins, and it's gonna take a while to read them off. But here's the wins: Rio Noguchi, Tyson Kwiatkowski, Nuno Borges, Radu Albot, a sick Hubie Hurkacz. That was when Hubie was like vomiting on the court. Like he had no chance that day.
Which event was that?
U.S. Open. When he
Oh
straight
yeah,
set at
I
Hubie, but
remember
that
that.
was
Yep.
that was not real
Yep.
Hubie.
I remember that. Yep.
Emo, Kokonakis, Radu Albot, Tristan Lamassine, Brower, Van Ash, Mensick, Prismich, Yuta Shimizu, Rodionov, Francesco Maestrelli, Vavasori, Billy Harris, Nakashima, Goffin, Martyr, Muzetti on hard, Chem Ilkel, Struff in November, and Baez on hard. Like, which of those
Yeah.
wins is even top 50?
Nothing.
It's just like
Absolutely
win
nothing.
collecting.
Yeah, it
And
is.
then his losses are in that time span are Sazal in Winnipeg, which is not a good loss. Rublev at the US Open, which he played well that match, 4 sets. Makach.
Everyone played 4 sets against Rublev.
Yeah.
Even Rinderneck did. So like
Yeah.
that doesn't tell me much.
Makach, Demonor, Manarino, and Kecmanovic at Davis Cup. Like, I think Draper is really overvalued here.
I agree.
Like, he's just beating schmucks, and because he's a big name and a big talent, like,
This is
still think he should be a favorite here, but I think this price is way off.
Draper gets the Corda treatment in Britain. I feel like
he does.
People
because he's a
want,
similar
people
guy,
want
right?
Corda
Where,
to be
like,
well because of his smooth game, and the same thing with Draper. They want him to be good because like he has talent. Like he's a lefty. He's like,
well,
you know,
it's talent. Like, you could like, it's a country that starved for a champion. I mean, they had Murray, but Murray was a Scot.
Right.
But like, it's a country that's starved for, that starves for tennis champions. And I just don't like.
Yeah.
He's not showing me. This for me is a 3-unit play. I've split my unit 3 different ways, but it's a 3-unit play. It's my first 3-unit play of the year.
Okay.
I've gone Kecmanovic on the money line.
Wow. Okay.
I've gone the over 22, the over 22.5, and the over 9.5 in the first set at -130. So I've split it 3 ways.
3 ways. Okay.
But I think this is a close match, man. Or let me put it this way: I think it's closer than the book suggests. I think Draper should be a favorite, but I don't. This price to me seems pretty far off.
I can't go Kecmanovic on the money line just because of the fitness concerns and like I don't know when this match is going to be played, so I can't go there. I agree with you on the overs, or if you want to take plus the games with Kecmanovic. I prefer the over actually because the plus 3.5 is juiced at -125. So
the 3.5 scares me because again the fitness piece, right? Like the bottom. Yeah. I mean, on either guy, the bottom could fall out. Right. Like,
so I'm gonna tail you on the over 22.5 here, but not the others.
Is that a GBM play?
We got. Let's see when the match is being played. If it's at night, 100%. If it's during the day, I can't go there.
Okay.
Because like if it's during the day, I actually lean under. If it's during night and cooler conditions,
I just don't think like 82 degrees and not super humid. I don't think is a killer. I get it. Both these guys were out of shape, but I think they can make it through 2 sets. Yeah, third set there could be problems, but you don't. But by then you've got your over clinched.
Yeah, I can't make it GBM because like it's too condition based. You know?
I hear you.
But and then over 9.5 is just too juiced. I just prefer the over. But I'm gonna lay off until I see when it's
played.
When the schedule is. That matters to me. Because like 82 for these guys is hot.
I hear you.
Like
it's a little bit. I mean, it's not crazy humid. I don't know. But I hear your point.
I like the over 12.5 for Draper too at -130.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's a good play also.
It's juiced, but it's like I can't see Draper winning like 3-3.
The only problem I have with the over 12.5 here for Draper,
or
really for either guy, is like I hear you on the fitness concerns. I think they got enough to get through 2 sets, but do they have enough to get through 3?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because like, you I could see that I could see you getting like the angry result on the 12.5, where it's like 4-6, 6-4, 2-6, and you get exactly 12.
What about the 3-set line though? Plus 140. Because like then it doesn't matter what happens in the third set. It just has to get there.
Yeah, I think that's a good look too.
That's probably where I would go here. Because like I could see like 6-2, 2-6.
Yeah.
Right? Like yeah, I there's a lot of potential plays here. I just can't go Kecmanovic money line. Like I agree with you that Draper's too overvalued, but like I just can't trust Kecmanovic. Like I trusted him against Tiafoe, who's been really bad. Like if you look back to last week, and like you said, I played Kecmanovic against Tiafoe. Like that wasn't such a bad play with how bad Tiafoe's looked. Honestly,
I just can't see. I just can't for the life of me see why like this line is where it is. I mean, I can see why, but I think Draper's being entirely overvalued.
I agree with that.
Like the fact that he couldn't beat Mannarino in a third set.
Yeah.
In the finals of that indoor, that indoor match, and I think it was Sofia. Can't remember which tournament, but the fact that he couldn't win that tournament was, yeah.
Wasn't that Corda?
No, he played. Didn't he play Mannarino in a final, Draper? Yeah, the last match of the last tournament of the season, because I had a bet.
Oh.
I had a futures on Draper to win a tournament during the season.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I came so close to stealing it at the end.
It happened to
he almost won
Corda couldn't beat Mannarino either.
Corda's different. Well, Corda's the same issues.
Yeah, he does have
like it's actually kind of the same player.
They
Draper
are.
just isn't as established, but it's kind of the same player. I think they're similar ages.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Who? What? Draper and Corda?
Yeah.
Similar, yeah. Corda's 20. Draper's 22, and Corda is 23. And Corda, that happened, I think, in Astana when he couldn't close out Mannarino.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar players. It's very true. And similar way they're valued by the books. Right?
Yeah.
Like, overvalued in kind of ways because like people want them to be good and think they're good, but they're actually not. Right? I mean, they're good. I'm not saying it that way. I'm just saying like
it's weird because like I think they're both good at tennis.
Yeah.
But they're not particularly good at winning. like I don't know, if you had like tennis challenges, like if you had like UTS, like if UTS, like if kind of like the different goofy stuff to do at UTS.
Yeah.
Like if that became like so like if you had like a tennis version of like the dunk contest in basketball or like the skills challenge dunk and 3-point contest, these guys would own that.
Right.
But like
fortunately tennis is not judged that way.
There's no judging of a scorecards at the end of the match.
There's no,
bonus games.
Well, if they had a dunk contest for these guys, I would give them a 4 right now.
Just out of pure hatred.
Just out of pure hatred, and how many bets they screwed for us. All right, let's move on to New Zealand. So I guess I'll throw it out there first. I have no futures here. I didn't like anything. I didn't like Nori because I get it. He grew up in New Zealand. He likes these conditions, but like he hasn't shown me enough to.
So he was better at United Cup.
But like that was a rusty match for de Minaur. Like I woke up and watched that match, and like de Minaur came out kind of rusty. Like he needed that match to get his form together. Like he didn't play well. I get that de Minaur had a great week, but he did not play well in that particular match. So I'm not like giving Nori like, an A grade for that win per se,
Yeah.
I also think coming into last year's Adelaide or Auckland tournament, I thought that he was in much better form than what he is coming into this tournament. So I would have needed plus 800 or 10-1 to hit that. And then like his draw is like, I think VDZ is like undervalued now. like, because like he was so bad last year, but I think he's in for a slight resurgence. I mean, I don't like FAA necessarily, but like, he's there. Arthur Feast is there. So I just didn't like it enough. I needed 10-1 on him. Shelton can't go with him just because like he has quarterfinal points to defend at the Australian Open. Like he's gonna.
Plus, I feel like he's a guy who I feel like his dad was a pro player, and I feel like they understand the point system very well.
They do. I mean, he kind of makes a good schedule, to be honest. Like, even though he was really bad in like parts of the year, like he finished the year in the top 15 because like he did well when it mattered. Like,
And also the other thing that would scare me about Shelton here is that he's like he plays a ton of tiebreaks to start with.
he does. He does.
And I think these courts are playing a little quicker this year. At least they were in the beginning.
Well, last year they played him indoors pretty much because of the rain.
Right. There's no rain and there's pretty much no wind this year. It's a little bit odd for that this tournament. Like usually they play on that goofy indoor court, but they really haven't been doing that this year. It's pretty much going to be all outdoors.
Right.
Yeah, the worst that might be the worst court on the ATP tour.
It is. It probably was.
Like, it literally looks like when we play at Chester Tennis Club. And there's there's a wall you gotta worry about. Like I gotta worry about Manny's slice serve into the wall. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a ton of rain in New Zealand usually, so like that indoor.
But this week there hasn't been.
Yeah, yeah. But I can't back Shelton to win this event, to be honest. And then, I like what I'm seeing from Offner, but I can't back him to win the event.
Yeah, and I don't think the price on. Yeah, I get you.
Wasn't good enough. And then Dolo, I mean, like,
I can't get behind Dolo on a fast hardcore. You and I debated this, but I can't.
I mean, I get your pick of Purcell, like just by default, because we
28 to 1. I think it was
28 to 1.
It was either 28 or 33. It was a huge price.
It was a huge number, but the reason why I couldn't is just because like Purcell, first of all, has never been to an ATP final, let alone win an event, ATP tournament. And I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I mean, like, but who in this half has besides Shelton and Dolo? Like, are you betting on Shelton or Dolo?
No. I mean, you know what? Come to think of it, it's the best play on the board, for sure.
Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, obviously, right? But it's 28 to 1. I mean, the Panu was basically a walking by.
But if Shelton gets there, like I don't see Purcell winning. Like,
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe. If he can claw together enough service holds and win some big points in tiebreaks. Yeah. I mean, I get it, right? But the reason he's 28 to 1. And like the other thing is, if I get him to the semis, I could start hedging out, even against Shelton.
You could. Yeah, I think it's the best play on the board for sure.
Like he's got a pretty good chance against Taro. I mean, he
has a good draw, to be honest. Taro Daniel and then
well, that's the thing. Like, I actually think he's the favorite out of that quarter.
Yeah. Offner has been serving really well. I don't know if you've noticed. But he's
been playing. I mean, he's really picked up his game on the faster surfaces. I agree.
And his serve really improved. He had 21 aces against RBA.
That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of aces for him.
It's a lot of aces. And like he's playing more aggressively. I mean, I don't take much into the Shapovalov win, but like brushed him aside. Made the semis. I mean, he was a setup against Rusevori, set away from the final. So yeah, it's a good week. Like, I don't know. He's a sneaky play here.
I agree.
But it's just nothing was good enough for me. Like FAA, I got to see it to believe it. I can't back him here. I mean, Arthur Feast is always a good play, but I still think he's better on slower courts, like slower clay.
Yeah,
I still think he needs some more work on the faster courts, and his swings are too big. So like, I don't know. Plus, he's getting to the point where he might start. Like I'm getting to that top 30, top 20 level. Like, I want to start thinking about bigger events. That might be kind of in the back of his mind. So and I don't think the price was good enough. I think it was like 10-1 or something.
It was 8 to 10. Yeah, I didn't want to play
12
fees
to
here.
1. So
I
there was
mean,
nothing here. There was absolutely nothing here that I really like truly
yeah,
like.
I was on the Nori at 6.5. Like, I get it, he's choked a lot here, but like, I first of all, I bet the Van Ash money line against Wolf. Wolf had
Good play.
some
Great play.
goofy black thing. It's either taper or brace or something on his ankle.
Wolf?
Yeah, like I don't know if he's just playing terrible or if he's not healthy.
He's playing badly.
But I'm not sure if it's okay. So you don't think it has anything to do with injury? He's got something on his ankle. I don't know what that is, but he's got some black thing on his ankle. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was playing so badly, just spraying every ball. Like, I mean, it seemed more technical and mechanical than movement.
but if you can't if you don't feel confident in your body to move properly, that will happen.
The balls were hit to him, and he would still spray them long.
You still got to get around the ball. You still got to get around the ball, and like if you're not exploding properly into your shots, like I don't know.
Okay, I mean,
I don't know. I'm not saying he is or isn't. You know, I'm just saying that I just noticed that. Like I don't, you know. Oh, I don't think I don't think he had it last year. So
yeah,
you know.
maybe. I think it's more just he's just playing terribly. Like, I don't think he would show up for this event if he was like injured per se. Like, he
Yeah,
has
you're
fourth round
probably
points. He has fourth round points to defend at the Australian Open.
you're probably right.
Like,
You're
why would he
probably
come
right.
here? Like, it's also not in Australia. Like, it just makes no sense. You
But
know?
back to Nori.
Yeah.
I love Nori's matchup versus Van Ash. Like Van Ash is just a worse Nori.
Okay. I would
Like
agree
Van
with that.
Ash isn't winning that. VDZ and Tabilo. I don't know, man. Like I get your point. Like I get your point on VDZ. It's a little bit of a scary match, but I think Nori should win.
I would take the
Semi that
oh,
other quarter is weak, right? I mean, I'm not buying into FAA. Yeah, FAA is a little scary. Nobody else is. Actually, this is actually kind of a scary quarter. I mean, fees would be scary too. I would love if Nuno Borges advanced. And I don't think it's completely unrealistic. And then the top half, like, unless it's Shelton, there's nobody else here who's that scary to me. Like
Yeah,
the
I
only
think
guy in this
Purcell's the
tournament that
best
Nori
pick.
shouldn't beat is Shelton.
Yeah, I just don't see Shelton wanting to vulture this 250. He's going to look to play Marjan and maybe
So
look to
that's my
off.
point. So I agree with you, Manny. So in that case, then Nori should beat all of his opponents.
I disagree. I think VDZ and Nori, I think that's going to be a pick 'em, and I'd probably pick VDZ if he was a dog.
Okay. I
Um,
mean, I'm sure VDZ
yeah.
will be a dog.
And
I'm not saying VDZ has no chance there.
if Feast like plays well against Gasquet and Borges and potentially FAA and he gets there, like that's really tough. And like with FAA that like he has that top 10 talent, right? So like if you see a good level from him, which we don't know, right? Like I mean, I do think that that's a tough matchup for him against Nori, just because Nori gets a lot of balls back and he has that rally tolerance going for him where FAA struggles with that. But like the top end talent is so much better for FAA. So yeah,
So FAA, if he's playing well, is scary. And Shelton, if he's looking to win this event, is scary. But other than that, like I don't know, man. I
I just
disagree.
don't trust Nori enough to like. I actually think the Van Ash match is a little bit scary, honestly.
I mean, okay, so it's literally yeah. I mean, it's just that's just a fundamental, and it's fine. It's just a fundamental disagreement on if we believe in
Yeah,
Cam Newton.
yeah.
I'm buying into the narrative that like last year was just a bad. I mean, I don't think he's like all the way back, but I think he's like most of the way back.
I just don't think you should be taking too much stock into the Demonor win just because like Demonor actually played a poor match.
Okay. All right.
And then if you look at the other,
I mean, he lost to Fritz 4-4.
yeah, which is I don't think is a good loss considering like I don't Fritz is
I think
actually
those are
not
the two matches.
up to par.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
I mean, you can't really read too much into those two matches to me. But
It's tough because I hear you on one end. On the other end, there is like a good career backing, right? Like he did still finish in the top 20 last year. He
hmm.
looked awful after the Golden Swing, but was he just like? Did he just need like 6 months? Like, does the off season just help him to get back into to form? Like I hear you. It's really tough these early season tournaments, right? Because of that,
Yeah,
what are you gonna you're gonna base it on the back half on the last 3 months of like I get it, two matches is a small sample, but you're gonna base it on the last 3 months of
well,
last
he
year.
may just not be like he may have been fatigued after Golden Swing, which was a reason for his decline. That's a viable narrative. I don't know. I just need 10-1 just because of like
I hear you. I hear you. Like it's
I don't
not.
have the eye test to back up, play here. Plus, I think his draw is actually moderately tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Van Ash is very scary. I agree with you.
Okay.
After that, it's not that easy.
Yeah. But I agree with you. If there was a guy to play, it's Purcell. If there
Yeah, I
was,
like Purcell. Yeah, yeah, that we'll agree with.
yeah. All right, let's go over individual matches here. Uh, let's see what we got. All right, so we got 5 matches to talk about. Ooh, Arthur Feast and Gasquet are underway. I have the Feast -3.5 there. Looking decent. I just think Gasquet's Father Time has approached the guy.
I found a money line right when this came out.
Yep.
I just happened to be looking at matches right when this came out, and the only thing that was out was money lines at this point. And I got a fees money line at -185,
Woohoo.
which is amazing.
That is amazing.
And I jumped on that. So I don't have any other play because that's where I put my money.
Okay.
I completely agree with you on the tennis though, and but like -185 equates to like 2.5, 3 game spread, and to me that was
Like, I actually think Gasquet is a guy that you can look at like recent results last year and kind of judge this year's performance on it just because like he's paid his dues on the tour, right? So
yeah. I guess the
I
only
don't think he
question
like
is,
has a ceiling anymore, you know?
I agree.
Like he
I
was
completely
losing
agree.
to he lost like 3-2 to Nakashima in a challenger last year, like in November. Like that's
I
terrible.
completely agree. I agree. Like your overall take on Gasquet, I agree. The only thing I would say against that is if he like if he's gonna make a run, this would be the time. He's the defending champion here.
Yes, he is. Just
And isn't
crazy.
his ranking like outside the top 100 now or close to it? He's like 70 or 80 or
Yeah, it's
something?
actually a big week for him.
Like he needs this week to
He
potentially stay on the
does.
tour. Now he'll get plenty of wild cards. There's so many events in France,
Yeah.
but like this may be the last run for Gasquet.
Yeah. I agree. But I just think like the level of tennis and the firepower edge and just like the
Oh, and I think it's a terrible matchup for
it's
Gasquet.
terrible. Like I thought the spread should have been 4.5 or 5, and I thought at 3.5 I'm just gonna jump all over it. So you know,
Yeah, I think maybe 4.5. I don't. I mean,
yeah. Actually,
five
the
is a
two
lot of games.
zero line was -110, which I liked as well.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
All right. Altmaier and FAA. That match is tomorrow. I know that guys on the Discord, tidbits in particular was over the FAA -3. I can't see the logic for that, to be honest. I gotta see FAA before I back him in any capacity. I'm actually leaning Altmaier +210. I think that's getting to the price where it's worth a stab. Just because of like Altmaier's competitiveness, like he's gonna make balls. I FA's rally tolerance is a question mark. He didn't play United Cup because like there was something wrong with him, some health concern. I don't know what that was about. So that's another reason I'm leaning Altmaier money line, maybe a half unit play on that. Are you in line?
I'm completely staying away. Altmaier's not a guy I like to back on fast courts, so but I agree. I don't want to back either of these guys. I have no idea what to do. But also this match isn't really a match where I want to play the over or the under because like I don't know, man. There's like if FA is playing like normal FA, this could easily go over because
Yeah,
FA could have a hard time breaking and
right.
winning any rallies, but he could just serve like really well. If if like, but either of these guys could play like really poorly. Like
Yeah.
I think it's a complete mess, man. Like I have no interest in playing this match at all.
Fair.
I think it's a very interesting match in terms of like
Yeah,
from a
it
tennis perspective
is.
to see how FAA does, but I don't want to bet on it.
Yeah. I hear you. I think for me it's just a pure price play. The fact that I'm seeing plus 210, like I really don't think what FAA showed last year, he should be minus 260 against like any top 50, top 70 guy, to be
I
honest.
just don't even think Altmaier is top 70 on a fast. Like if I thought
Okay.
Altmaier was top 100 on a fast court,
So if that line was on clay, you'd play that.
I'd be all over Altmaier if the sun was on clay. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Plus 3 at minus 105 and unjuiced plus 3 is not bad either, in a way, just because like FA struggles on serve or
It's just the top
turn.
end for FA is so like if FA is playing halfway decent, he just dominates.
Fair. All right, Cerundolo and Muller. Dolo's a minus 140 favorite, two game favorite as well. Muller is plus 115 on the money line, over under of 22. I kind of like Dolo in this spot. Like minus 140 is pretty short for him.
Gun to head, yes, but I'm not playing it, man. Like Dolo on a fast hard is so bad. Like you and I disagree here, but I think on a fast hard, Dolo is really not very good at all. Like, didn't he get like smoked pretty good by RBA last week?
It was 3 and
I guess he
5.
wasn't getting smoked, but like the second set wasn't very
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't good.
And that's RBA who's really struggling. Like I who lost to Baena bad today.
Yeah, I still didn't think that was a good play to play Cerundolo in that match.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say, like to back you on the Cerundolo piece, I do think this is a good matchup for him.
It is.
Like Muller's not going to blow him off the court.
Right.
He should have an opportunity to crack that forehand plenty.
Yeah.
I'm
That,
tempted to play Dolo 2-0 here
okay.
because I think that should be some pretty good plus money at
Ooh, plus
165.
165.
That's tempting just because of the matchup. Um, but
Dolo can give away sets though. Like he can go away and then, like he gets it back, but like he can go awry for periods of
he can,
time.
but I don't know. I mean, it's.
It's a good price play though. That's a decent price on that
Yeah.
to think about it. But yeah,
I
I
think
would not
like
back
I
Muller.
might play Dolo. But I mean, like based on the skill levels of these guys, I think it's a good line. It's just a matter of is the matchup good enough for Dolo to be worth it?
Yeah. All right, next match is Shelton and Marjan. This is a very, very interesting match, actually. Because these guys both have extremely high upsides. Extremely high upsides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shelton is a 3-game favorite, minus 260 on the money line. Marjan is plus 210, over under 23. So this for me is a 3-unit play. I got Marjan plus 3. I got Marjan on the money line. And I have the over 10.5 in the first set.
I hear you. I am not on any of those. I'm staying
Okay.
away here.
Okay.
I think that it's the issue I have here is so against most guys, right? If Marjan comes out and plays his best,
Mm-hmm.
he's winning. I don't think
Yeah.
that's true in this matchup, right? Like
Okay.
if Marjan plays his best, Shelton could outplay him. Um, So yeah, like I think like, and Marzan's bottom end is really bad. It's well
It's
below
really
Shelton's
bad.
bottom.
Really, really bad.
And so I don't really know that I love like I flirted with the money line here, but I just think Shelton is I mean I talked about it on the last pod or on one of the pods. Like
Yeah.
Shelton's he's playing better on the return. I'm not saying he's gotten to a point where he's a good returner yet, but he's getting close to average.
Mm-hmm.
I think given that combination, I mean, like minus 260, I can't back Shelton. I can't lay 3 games here with Shelton.
No.
I flirted with Marzon, but I think this is pretty close to the right line. Like, I get it at first glance, like when you're like Marzon plus 210 on a dog or pass guy at that. And like, if this was like Cass, I guess like who's a similar guy to Shelton in terms of overall skill level, but like less upside? Tommy Paul. If this was Tommy Paul, I'd probably
Yeah.
take Marzon at plus 210 because of the upside. But like Shelton could hit Marzon off the court too.
Well, you're kind of right. I also think Marjan doesn't have the greatest return to serve.
Well, also if you want to talk matchup, I think Marzon, like Shelton's a really good athlete. And Marzon, like, and he's really explosive. Marzon, I think that takes away a lot of Marzon's drop shot, which is he's one of his like really. I mean, it's everybody knows about it, but like it's one of his like weapons. And I think Shelton's style of play and his
Yeah.
explosiveness and his
Also, Shelton
athleticism
hits with a
takes that
lot of
away.
pace. So it's like it's hard to hit drop shots off that
Well,
kind of.
he hits with a lot of pace. He's super fast. He's explosive. He's good at the net. Like he's not the guy you like. I just don't like.
So
Yeah, there's nothing
you think
like
Marjan would rather play Alcaraz than Shelton?
no, but because like Shelton's gonna give him some points.
Right. I just like the Marjan upside too much to not take the 210. Like if this was plus 180, I'd lay off. But 210 is just like it's just
I
staring
hear you.
at me, like begging me to hit it,
I
you know?
hear you. I can't, but I hear you.
Oh. I mean, plus 160 in the first set is not bad either, because like then you're limiting the time in which Marjan has to reach that peak level, you know?
But you know, that doesn't really seem that much of a problem for him. Like he seems to be able to peak and stay pretty high for a long time.
It depends on the day more than it depends more on the day, right?
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like when he did against Alcaraz, he sustained it for 2 sets. Like when he did it against Demonor in Shanghai, he sustained
Yeah.
like it depends on the day, but I mean, these guys have tremendous upside. That's why like
Oh,
if
it'll be a great match to watch, and like I
yeah,
see why you want to put a bet. I mean, like there's a chance I would degen half a unit
okay,
just as a true
okay,
degen.
okay,
If I'm watching this match, I can see myself degenning on it. But like, yeah.
okay. All right. VDZ and Tabilo. Um VDZ is a 3-game favorite, minus 210 on the money line. Tabilo's plus 170 over under 22.5. I like laying games here with the VDZ at -3.
Ooh, all right. Because I've gone the other way with it. I'm
Whoa,
taking the games with Tabilo.
really? Okay.
Actually, yeah, this is actually this is a 2-unit play for me. It's my only other play
Wow.
here for tomorrow. And I've gone I've gone Tabilo +3 and Tabilo on the money line.
Okay.
Um Tabilo's pretty good on hard, man. Like he's not like he doesn't play on hard much, but he does pretty well when he does play on it.
So when he played well on hard, it was in Indian Wells, right?
And Miami.
Which are slower hard courts. This is pretty quick. It's
But he
not
did
quite. It's not.
qualify here. He did beat Gojo, who had been a hot guy who's tough
Yeah,
on a
but
quick
Gojo's
court.
very, very hit or miss.
Yeah, and I didn't see that match. I
Whereas
get it. I
VZ
mean,
is
it's
a
just like,
better
man, Tabilo
athlete.
seems to know how to win matches.
He
Like,
does. It's not flashy like Draper and Corda.
no, it's not flashy at all. But like, and it's not an impressive list of wins. I mean, I can go through the list of wins. It's not impressive.
Yeah.
Probably the best win is and these are clay wins, but like the best ones are probably Federico Coria, Galan, and Goyo. So they're not amazing wins, but he is 17-2 in the last 2.5 months. And he won a hardcore challenge. Granted, it was in Brazil, but he did win a hardcore challenger. He did qualify here.
Yeah, but like if VDZ serves well, like
Tabilo's serve is not bad, I don't think, though. He's
yeah,
got a
but
decent serve.
he's
He's
gonna
got a,
be
he's got
behind in
a
the
big
points. Like
game.
Tabilo is not a great athlete, and like I just
He's
think
not.
quality of shots, like unless he's like missing everything and just mentally completely out of it like he was last year, which I don't think we're gonna get with him because I think it's a new year. I think like he wasn't as bad as he showed last year, you know?
Yeah.
If he just shows his basic level, like he's just pretty much better than Tabilo. Like to me, I'd need plus 200 or plus 210 to even think about Tabilo here. I, I I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't like those wins. Like,
Oh, the wins are not impressive.
yeah.
It's a quantity, not a quality. Right? I
Okay.
just talked about this the other way with Draper. But I guess the difference is here I'm getting plus money.
Okay.
Like,
All right. I like it though, because like it's rare that we have disagreement on the
it's
pod.
very, yeah. I mean, it's very, I think this, I mean, it sounds kind of dumb. I don't think it's a particularly bad matchup for either guy.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know. Like
bad
what does
or
VDZ
good.
do that's particularly strong?
I actually think he's an underrated mover. If he's in the mood, like he actually plays decent defense. He has like sneaky pop on the forehand. Like the forehand is like I think when VDZ struggles is when he doesn't go after the forehand, when he kind of like lays off of it and does that like weird form.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how he's made the top like 40 in the world because he doesn't have like okay, you just said his forehand's like
Yeah.
sneaky pop and like
What he
underrated
has,
mover, but I don't think he's like a great mover. I just think he's like an average
no,
mover.
he has injection of pace though. Like,
He does have that, and I think he's actually
right?
a pretty smart. Like
He's
he's
actually pretty
sometimes a pretty
smart. Yeah.
smart player. I don't see him do a whole lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah. But he
I
has
get it.
very sneaky pace. Like he doesn't like hit the ball hard all the time, but like he knows when to inject pace. And if he
Yeah, I think
puts
he's a smart. Like I
Tabilo
said, I
on
think he's a smart
defense,
player. I think
like
he gets them
Tabilo is
when they
not a good
pay.
athlete.
Well, yeah, I
Tabilo is
know, I
not a good
know.
athlete. And like I don't know. I just see him like getting behind in a lot of points. Like if this was clay, I would agree with you, but not on a quickish hard court. Like Indian
Yeah,
Wells too, I'd be like, okay, maybe, you know.
it's so hard with him because like he never plays on quick courts. So like
Yeah.
I don't know, like yeah, it's I don't know. You may be right. I love
I wouldn't go 2 units here though. I would pick the three or the if you like Tabilo, I would go money line at plus 170. Three is not enough because like Tabilo's serve is not good enough where he's gonna get broken in this match. Like you need
and
like a
one break.
six,
Yeah,
you need a 6 and 4 just to push. No, thank you. Like
yeah,
if I were you, I would take if you believe in Tabilo, I would take the money line here and just go like, maybe VDZ has an off day and like, you're getting plus 170 and like, Tabilo does have wins qualified. Like I get your narratives all make sense. It's just I think the three just doesn't make sense.
yeah, yeah. And it still feels like VDZ plays a lot of close matches, man. That's kind of why I like the three. You know what I mean? Is like the three might be better. It might not be. It might not be worth. I don't know. I got to think through the
Like,
the second unit a little bit more.
So VDZ so far beat Eubank 6-2, lost to Shang in 3 tie breaks, beat Mochizuki, beat that was last year with Arnaldi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 guys he should beat, and then like, okay, Shang had a great week, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not much this year that like tells me that VDZ is, but I just think we're due for some positive regression with him. But yeah, I'm looking at these wins. I just don't see any like, oh wow,
It's
this is
hard. Like the problem with Tabilo is that I think he's really good, but I hear your point. Like he never plays on fast hard.
Mhm.
I don't know how he does on fast courts. I've never seen him play on a fast court. Like
Which is the reason why you shouldn't back him.
but we've just seen. I mean, he just beat Gojo.
Yeah, but Gojo's super hit or miss too. Like VDZ is not that hit or miss. He's hit or miss, but he's not like, you know,
Yeah.
like just bomb the serve and bomb the forehand, and if it doesn't go in, you lose the point. Like he's not like that. That's why I call Borna Gojo Borna. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
because
I
if
know.
he misses the serve and then or like if he makes the serve and misses the forehand, then you're done.
I know.
So I don't. And Tabilo's a smart tennis player. I'm not saying like he's like trash, like he knows how to play tennis, and as you said, he finds ways to win matches. But this is where the talent gap kind of takes over a
But is it
little.
that big of a talent cap? I don't know. Like
I mean,
that's that. I guess that's the point. Is like
okay, if you're taking plus 170 on money line, I get it. But these alternative lines, I don't like it too much.
yeah.
But I'm going with the -3. I think it should be 3.5 at least 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
So all right,
That was
last
fun. We actually had a disagreement for the first
yeah,
time
it was
like
great.
ever.
It was great.
Yeah, I think it's the first time all year we've had a disagreement. Like usually it's me just staying away,
Yeah.
but agree. You know what I mean? Or it's usually like staying away. But this is like actually it's very funny because we've had very few overlapping plays this year. Like we can never find a GBM play.
Well, when we find one, we just lose.
But like we like never can find a play, but yet we like never disagree.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very weird. Like, we just always betting different matches, which is funny.
Well, I think the play that I regret not hitting as a GBM was that Koto play. I should have pushed it more
Yeah.
against Musetti, but yeah. We'll make a comeback at some point. I remember we started last year pretty sluggishly
And
and
then
then
it came back. Yeah.
came back. So it's a long year, so I'm not
It is.
panicking. Van Ash and Nori, we actually might have a disagreement here too. Um, Van Ash plus 185, plus 3 game spread. Nori's -225, over under 22.5. So my line here is I'm on the over 22.5 here.
I get it. I get it. I'm not. I hear your reasoning. I'm actually staying away from this on second thought.
Okay.
Um, I I think Nori will win. I think this line is I think that this line isn't quite far enough for Nori.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should probably be 3.5. But am I really squabbling between a juiced 3 and 3.5? No. Again, I just like. Do I think Nori's I like Van Ash a lot. He makes a lot of balls. He runs down a lot of balls.
Good
I like Van
competitor.
Ash, but I also like Nori. This is a match where I actually like both guys quite a bit.
So I actually think this is a good matchup for Van Ash, just because like the matches that Van Ash will have trouble are against guys with a lot of power, guys who overpower him and don't give him shots like to hit. Norrie is not going to do that, right? Norrie's going to give him balls to hit. And if Van Ash is able to get a racket on the ball, he's able to get the ball back in play. And if it's on the backhand side, he tends to get it back, not with a lot of pace, but with good depth. And like, he'll make Norrie play a lot of balls. And from what I was seeing last year where Norrie had trouble was actually like his biggest strength was betraying him. Like he would like spray a ton of just easy balls.
Yeah, this is all about Cam Norrie's form. I think it's a pure stay away. I think the more I think about it, it's
and I just
all about this match is all about Cam Norrie's
level
form.
enough to get to the over. Probably maybe 3 sets is actually a better play here, just because
I think so. I think if you play the over, I would play the 3 sets at 1.
Yeah, I'll probably do the 3 sets, just because like you can see breaks here and stuff. But like Van Ash is a damn good competitor. Like
he's a good competitor. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that. I was exactly what I was gonna say. He's a good competitor. It's just that if Norrie's playing well, Norrie beats him. Like Norrie's got a way better aggressive game. Like he's got like we kind of make fun of him all the time, Norrie, but like he's got a little bit of that RBA game where he's good at like moving you around the court. Or at least back when he was playing better, he was better at moving people around the court. One of his greatest strengths was he could put any ball, even though he's got that goofy shot, that goofy stroke from both sides, he can put the ball anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
Right, like he can always go down the line or cross court from almost any position.
He can, but what he doesn't have is that he has no injection of pace whatsoever, right? Like if he hits a forehand winner, it's going to be some kind of loopy ball because he got the opponent out of position on the previous
or a flatter ball, right? Or he can flatten it out.
Yeah, or he angles it cross court, but like the backhand is actually very, very low margin, and if he's off, it becomes very problematic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like Van Ash has like he has a decent base level of play. Like he's always kind of gonna be what he is, right?
Yeah.
Unless he gets better and builds power. But like I never seen him like just play terribly, like in the last.
I have. I mean, I've seen him play relatively not great, but yeah, he's usually pretty good.
He's steady. Like what you're gonna get with him.
Yeah.
Oh, whereas
the problem is I could see Norrie's like I think like if Norrie's playing well, he can actually beat Van Ash by winning the longer rallies. Because he can move around more and set up more, and he can actually set up his offense.
I just can't really trust that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is like I think we said. I mean, I think I said it at the top, right? This match is all like a test of how much you believe in Cam Norrie. 3 games is a lot of games, and like the lines here are all big. Like, I don't know, that's something I've kind of realized. Like betting a guy to win 2-0 is like it's really hard to win 2-0, and it's really hard to cover 3 games.
It is.
Like, it doesn't feel like it should be, but it is.
I mean, I haven't had the greatest start to the year, but I haven't laid games, if any, very, very rare. Like, in certain aspects, like the Fees Gasquet, but, like, I don't know. Laying games is just so risky because, like, if the guy starts down a break in the first set, you're done. Your bet's done, pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
So... Yeah.
And I always feel like I always feel like laying like 2 games is like why bother? Because like there's also more vig, I think, on the game spreads.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna lay games, it's like why bother?
Right. Anyway, anything catch your eye in Aussie Open qualifying before we sign off?
I haven't looked a whole ton at tomorrow's lines. I had Brower when he was at plus 130 over Molchon.
I have that too.
But that line has closed up. It's probably not as exciting at a plus.
I got it plus 120. It's not the best, but like,
yeah.
Poor John Millman, man. Poor John Millman. This is his...
Oh, I know, but he He should kill Giannessi. He'll kill Giannessi.
No,
I
it
mean,
can, but I
I'm
don't
not
care.
gonna lay
I
four
don't.
games at even
I
money,
don't
but
care. Like, okay, he'll kill Giannessi. This is
I
his
know it's
last
still BS that
tournament,
he has to play
and
qualies. I
the
agree.
Australian Open couldn't even give him a freaking wild
I
card
agree. And
to
they, and
the
they don't
event.
have that, and they really don't have like a ton of good candidates to give wild cards to.
No,
And I don't think like the U.S. Open, they have so many wild. They have like a wild card for the NCAA champ and the under 18
I
champ and
know.
some other random tournament they have a champion for. I don't think Australia has that. So I really
Like,
think it's a crappy
I
decision
like
by
that
Australia.
Shang got a wild card. Like he deserves it, and like he's definitely gonna cause some trouble. Like he's not a guy that someone wants to face. But like Millman is more deserving based on like just career, what he's done in his career. Like Millman made a quarterfinal of the U.S. Open and beat Federer, and took Federer to 7-6 in the third, in the fifth, like at the Australian Open. Like,
I agree. I think Millman. I could not agree more, Manny. I think it's a ridiculous decision by the Australian Open. I think there's plenty of guys who they could have replaced him with. I
it's
can't
really
remember who the wild
shitty.
cards are, but there's
And the guy's done nothing but just battle and claw throughout his career. Like he lacks a lot of he lacks talent and racket talent, all this, like that's all valid, but like he's paid his dues on the tour. Like,
I agree. I agree. I
no,
think I think that would have been a viable retirement gift.
100%, 100%.
Um,
And like get in the main draw and play like on the show court, like
yeah,
your last match. Like he deserved that.
yeah,
He deserved that. And I'm not one to give like reward or praise very easily, but like Millman is a guy that I respect and a guy that deserves a nice sending off because
yeah.
he's done nothing but respect the game. Like, and it pisses me off. Like when I heard that news that he has to play qualifying and that's his sending off party, like that's shitty.
I
Really.
agree. I agree.
As far as others, I mean I like the Brower line. What else did I have? I think I had my spreadsheet here. Oh, I have Lahal minus 2.5 games against Grenier tomorrow.
Okay.
I got Mensik plus 3.5 against Nakashima. So like Mensik beat Nakashima in the Canberra
Yeah,
Challenger
that's one I got to look
side by
at for
side.
sure.
Like I don't feel comfortable playing the Mensik money line again, just because like I think Nakashima might make some adjustments, but 3.5 games is a lot for
Yeah.
Nakashima, who really struggles to break, and like Mensik has a decent serve. Like I don't think he could break once against he had break points, but like he couldn't really
Yeah.
make that much progression on Mensik's serve. So I like the plus 3.5 there. Barrios Vera, Mepechi Pericard over 23.5. Pericard is just a pure over guy, you know. So I like that. I know it's a high
23.5's a lot though, but I do
it
get it. He
is.
plays like yeah.
How is Barrios Vera going to break his serve? And then like how is Mepechi Pericard going to break Barrios Vera's serve? Like,
But one break and you're screwed. Unless it goes 3 sets,
which is very possible.
which is very possible.
Yeah. So I like that. Blocks money line against Svajda. Like we talked a little bit about the Discord. It got to a price where I was like, okay, I'll take a stab. It's plus 190, I believe I got it at, or 180. That's just enough.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right for that matchup. I got to look through all these matches to be honest. I hadn't looked at a lot of them. I had looked at Brower Molchan. I'd only looked about 4 or 5 matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sekulich minus 1.5 against Batalha. That's a play I'm tailing tidbits on. We talked a little bit about it on the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a ladder there, I think. So he's really confident in that. So I decided to tail him. But yeah, that's about it. And like a couple plays here and there. Like I don't know too much about these guys, so like I'm not gonna like post logic on it.
Yeah, I'm the same way where I'm like not.
I do a little bit of research and kind of go over their tennis abstract and just like see kind of how they've been doing and like, obviously play prices. Like it's hard for me to back favorites in qualies. Like it's dogs or pass kind of
It
plays.
does seem amazing how many of these matches are super tight, and even matches that don't seem like they should be.
Yeah. Yep. Like the only play I'm actually considering is the Medvedev -6 against Cecchinato. Like I'm actually thinking about it. And now that it's -6 is plus 105, I might take a crack at that.
It's so tough though, because like you said before, like one break and you're screwed.
You are, but how's Cecchinato gonna break?
Against Hamad, like Hamad could just give him one for the hell of it.
Yeah, and then get broken right back.
Probably, yeah. But that's 1-1.
Right?
That's not good for your -6.
I know.
6 is a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. Ooh, Mensick is down to +3, and he was plus 225 on the money line. Now he's plus 200. But the over is a good look there too. 22.5.
Yeah, I can't believe that one. That's sitting at 22.5. I feel like that's the right thing.
That's the right play. That's the right play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hassan against Choinsky. I mean, that Choinsky is actually not a bad look there at -130.
But I prefer Koinski on a yeah, maybe.
Lahal is has talent.
He does. He
Went from
does.
2.5 to 3.
Pedro!
Pedro Martinez back in the house.
Oh, that last one, Sue versus Cressy, man.
Ooh, interesting. That's an interesting matchup.
That I kind of like taking the over there. Either the over or the games.
Hmm. I gotta think about that, but I probably lean over. I don't know if Shu has enough like athleticism to deal with the Cressy serve and volley, right? Like, and he's like too small.
He's a pretty good. He's quick though.
Yeah, how are his passing shots though? Like, is he going to be able to make Cressy hit multiple volleys in difficult positions? And like, has Cressy? I didn't see much of Cressy like the first week of the season. Has he adjusted his service tactics, or is he still doing that dumb like, you know, 2 first serves?
I mean, he double faulted 13% of 10% of 16% of points against Peniston and 11% against Lucas Klein.
Okay, so he hasn't changed.
Correct. Correct.
All right. Good enough. Good enough.
He's never going to change.
You know, a good bet with Cressy is like if he wins the first set, just like live bet the other guy. Because like the way he plays points, it's just so dumb. And then like, you know, like I compare him to like the Dan Campbell of the tennis tour with worse, you know, like Dan Campbell could be like 4th and 10 at their own 25 and he'll go for it. Like it's just stupid, right? Whereas Cressy, it's like break point and he just goes for this 130 mile per hour second serve. Like it's just dumb.
I don't know, man. Like, so I hear why you say it. And we've had this debate a million times, but like,
Yeah.
can he win points playing normal tennis? I don't think he can.
Yeah, okay. Well, Dan Campbell actually has the players where if he puts them in a position to win, they can probably do something for him.
Right? Like this is like the equivalent of a coach who like fake punts 40% of the time because like his team is shit and like his offense can't do it any other way, right? Like
yeah. Yeah, like did you see that Cowboys Lions game 2 weeks ago?
yes.
Which
I guess the only argument I'll make in favor of Campbell.
Don't make any arguments in favor of Campbell. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen on a
No, the
football
argument
game.
you would make, like if he did that in the playoffs, I'd be like, that's incredibly dumb. He had already clinched the division title, So
No, he
like,
hadn't.
yeah, he had,
Oh, yeah,
hadn't
he
he?
did. He did. You're
Yeah,
right.
he
He
clinched the
did.
division
He
title.
did.
So like, and they weren't going to get the 1 seed anyways. So like, you're talking about like a
I
2 seed versus a 3, like, and he's just proving a point to his team that he like believes in them, and that like they're gonna
like
like
you know
they
he
don't
believes
care
in
like
them.
what
You don't
they.
need to do that. Like you need to make smart plays. Like obviously every coach in the league believes in their players. Like that, that's just I don't know. I get what you're saying. Like if they scored that touchdown and went for it right away to go for the win, great. That's fine, right? What I have the problem with was when they had that 5-yard penalty,
Oh man, Manny. In terms of
right?
like, is it a smart play to win the game? 100% agree. Right? Like in terms of
It's more the
if your only
penalty.
goal
You're
is to win
back
the
five
game,
yards, and then you still decide to go for it when your chances of making it are so much
Manny,
less.
if your only goal, if you
Yeah.
need to win that game, I 100% agree with you. This is like, did he have other things in mind besides like winning that game exactly? Like, or did he just not want to play overtime? Like we saw that a ton in this week where like teams just didn't want to play overtime, so they did ridiculous things to avoid playing overtime. Like,
I mean, the way they play that game, they played to win. So, like, why would you sacrifice it at the end? And then it's like, I don't know. If you really believe in your team, like, and your players, then you should also believe that they can win in overtime.
I just like I feel like like I said, if your mindset is about winning that game, then yes, 100% agreed. Like maybe I mean like I guess I'm going like and like to be honest, like what was his first speech when he got there? It was about like breaking kneecaps and like part of what's made them good is like this kind of like ridiculous bravado, and I think he's just kind of showing off that bravado. He's kind of like Rex Ryan was with the Jets. I think this only has a shelf life for like 1 or 2 years, and
Kind
it's
of.
just gonna just be dumb. There was like the whole dumb Twitter thing this whole past week about like they had a dumb Twitter video of like their guys like reporting like to the practice facility and being like reporting is eligible, reporting for duty, like making fun of the refs. And I just think like making a whole sideshow of this like gets old really quick. Like I think it's gonna work out like the Rex
Yeah.
Ryan thing did, where like it was good for a year or two, and then it just got old, especially at the pro level.
Yeah, well, I mean, that being said, like, I mean, I know this is a tennis podcast, but I'm hammering the Rams against the Lions at money line plus 160, I think, because like, first of all, Sean McVay against Dan Campbell. Like, Sean McVay is a quality coach, right? Plus, Sean McVay knows everything about Jared Goff possible, right?
That's
Like
true.
he
That's
knows
true.
in and out what Jared Goff's favorite plays. He can scheme for exactly what Jared Goff loves. So that's number two. Number three, it's playoff pressure. Like what dumb shit is Dan Campbell gonna do? Like I just can't trust a guy like that to win regular season games, fine. Win playoff games, totally different animal. The Lions are
True.
the Rams are coming in hot. Dan Campbell was so dumb he started all his players. Sam Laporta got hurt. Like it's just like I don't know. I just
Well,
can't.
right. That's why I compare him to Rex Ryan. Like he coaches with his heart, not with his head. And so I think like there's a 2 year shelf life on that, where like that works well for a while, but then like I
Well,
don't know.
it only works until your one of your best players gets hurt.
He'll no. I think he's gonna have to like. I think he's gonna have to like learn to like coach a little more with his head. Because I feel like they've been so bad for so long, right?
Yeah.
That like that
Okay.
attitude gets you like reinvigorated, right?
Okay. Okay.
But then
But is he going
like
to adjust, or that's just in his DNA?
it's probably just in his. I mean, look, he's probably gonna be
Probably.
like Rex Ryan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where he's like,
So
that's why I think there's a 2 year shelf life, and then he ends up on TV and ends up being a great
he's going to
like,
be doing what we're doing, but for football
yeah.
instead of tennis, like in a couple years.
Well, I mean, he'll do it for a major network because, like, I mean, he'd be great on TV.
Yeah.
Like him and Rex Ryan would be hilarious.
So take notes, Maxime Cressy. Don't be like Dan Campbell. That's how we're going to finish the show.
No, but Maxim Cressy might not be good enough to have players that are any good. Also, like, you got to give him credit. Like, Dan Campbell has made Jared Goff into a legitimate quarterback again. Like, I have a very low opinion of Jared Goff.
Okay, I actually think he's better than like I think Sean McVay made him way better than what Dan Campbell made him.
Okay.
But that's just me. Well, anyway, that's enough about football. We're going off on a tangent. So have a good night. We'll be back later this week, like probably on the weekend for a massive Australian
Yeah,
Open.
for Massive Aussie Open pod. I think they start Sunday this year, so we're gonna it's gonna
Start
suck.
Sunday. Yeah, so we'll have to do it on what? Thursday or Friday? So all right, well, yeah, I lost you there. So we'll have to do it on like Thursday or Friday, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll figure it out. So hope
All
maybe
right,
we'll
guys.
have a
To all
guest.
the followers, thanks so much. We always
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
the
you.
views. Always good times, and good luck on your bets.
All right, take care, everyone. See
Bye,
ya.
everyone.